away, and first touch for Hull FC. Looking to redress the balance, having been beaten by Leeds just last weekend by 20 points to 32. They went down at Headingley Carnegie, but a costly game for both sides. As we've heard, Liam Sutcliffe out of the Leeds side, not just tonight but for the remainder of the season. Danny Maguire absent as well, and he was injured in a tackle by Mark Sneed of Hull, their goal-kicking virtuoso, and Sneed suspended for 2 games as a result of that. Those Maguire and Sneed, 2 big losses for these 2 sides.
2 huge losses, Bill, but you look back to that result last week, and that was Leeds' only the 3rd win in 8 games. But you look at Hull's form, they've lost the last 2, but 8 from the previous 10 games they'd won, so they're in good form, they're playing at home, and they know they're up against a good Leeds side, and they need to start strong.
Jordan Abdul, who has been named at standoff in the halves by Lee Radford tonight, in place of Mark Sneed, launching that kick, and Zach Hardacre confident underneath it. Little shove there on Ryan Hall. Paul Ayton felt that was worthy of a whistle. Big pack confrontation going on out there. And 2 in-form hookers as well in Paul Ayton and Danny Houghton. Pass goes astray, but salvaged by Joel Mooning. Great form. Moon got his first couple of tries of the season in that win over Hull last weekend. Ablett. 3 in the tackle. And Paul Ayton. Burrow now. Sinfield, time to place the kick. Doesn't get any great depth on it. And eventually picked up by Steve Michaels. Michaels, a late call up into this Hull side to replace Setamata Sarr, who was taken ill today. So Michaels, who originally wasn't selected, having played last weekend, coming back into the side in the centres.
Bill, it's not very often that when we talk about Leeds Rhinos that we say that they're probably behind the 8 ball when they're playing against Hull FC in the forwards. I really like what they've got. The back 3 in Westerman, Ellis and Minicello, I think they're in top form. But I also like Liam Watts. I think he has been a standout performer at prop forward, and he's matured into a fine player.
Jordan Abdul with the kick, and Ash Hanley slipping but grasps that ball, makes certain of it. Good chase from the Hull players. Now Ryan Hall. Hall takes some stopping, the Rhinos winger. In the end, it's his opposite number, Fatuli Talanoa, who brings him down. 3 tackles gone. Here is Rob Burrow. Sinfield, Watkins quickly on to Hanley, but Steve Michaels stops his progress. The 2 sides just testing each other out at the moment. Jamie Peacock, how he and others would like to sign off with a cup final appearance, but the first mistake of the game really from the Rhinos, and it is from Jamie Peacock, who lost that ball, but just looks a query from Peacock to the referee.
Well, I think he's querying the tackle. There's a hand underneath the crotch of Jamie Peacock. Big Mickey Pay, and you talk about the tactics of both teams. Huge amount of power. Huge amount of power for the Hull FC team, and you've already seen Leeds Rhinos prepared to ship the ball, move it from side to side, and move this big pack around that Hull FC have got.
It's good defence from Leeds.
Wait, guys, wait.
Talanoa, danger on the wings for Hull FC in the shape of Fatuli Talanoa. It's Danny Houghton quickly into action. Watts gets to his feet, plays the ball. Westerman, that's a big hit from Peacock. Houghton scoops it up off his toes. Nice work from him. Jordan Abdul now, that looked high.
There's a couple of big shots early on from Luluai and also from Paul Ayton.
Leon Price hoists that kick. Another one with masses of experience. Hardacre, though, again, able to claim that one without too much pressure.
And I think we'll see that repeated over and over again. Here's the high shot potentially. Paul Ayton putting himself about, but I saw young Jordan Abdul. Jordan Abdul actually came to the Rhinos as a scholarship player, an under-15s player. Decided to go with his hometown club, so he knows some of the players, he knows the surroundings, knows what Leeds Rhinos is all about from his short time there, but he won't be intimidated, won't be frightened. He'll get stuck in as the rain starts to fall.
Yeah, it's been threatening all day, and now it's right on cue. Just started to fall here at the KC Stadium. Very murky skies over towards the east coast as well. Kinehorst having a good run in the side, Jimmy Kinehorst. And then Moon hoists that kick. That's a tantalising one. And Moon claims, and he's over the line. Joel Moon claims the try. That's caught everyone by surprise, but Joel Moon put the kick up. James Child reckons it's a try. Joel Moon, I don't think, looks convinced.
Bill, you're right, it did catch everyone by surprise. You had Rob Burrow and Kevin Sinfield on the right with their arms up. He puts the ball up, everyone's onside, and it's Joel Moon, the man who's kicking the ball, that'll be the first person to get to the ball and put Jordan Rankin, the fullback from Hull, under the pressure. I don't think there's anything wrong with this. Both players can compete for the ball. Both players go for it. Does it look like it's a clean take from Joel Moon? Yes, it does. Is the tackle affected? No, it's not. Does he ground the ball over the line? I think he does.
You can see the ball just under Tom Lynham's midriff, I think it is.
Well, it's a clean catch. It doesn't ricochet into Rankin, so he's caught that clean. He spins out of the tackle. He's aware of where the try line is. He's still free, and that's a try.
I don't think he promotes that ball. I think momentum takes him over. Great start for the Rhinos.
James Child was pretty certain it was a try, and he was right. Richard Silverwood and Ian Smith, the video refs, and Joel Moon catching Hull FC by surprise with that. They didn't expect the kick coming from his corner. He gets his 8th of the season.
Well, Bill, I think Joel Moon and his fellow centre Callum Watkins, they're the strike, they're the threat for Leeds Rhinos, and for them to go on to win this game, I think it's going to be won by those two men. You can see the confident kick, the confident take. He's the one who's backed himself. He didn't give the ball to Rob Burrow or Kevin Sinfield. He thought, no, I'll have a little crack at this. And his urgency to chase up and get that ball back scores the opening try for the Rhinos.
The rain sweeping in at the KC as Kevin Sinfield does what he does so effectively and lands 2 more points for the Leeds Rhinos. The cup holders ahead by 6 points to 0 here. 2 tries last week against Hull, another one tonight.
Well, often when players are coming off script, and believe you me, Joel Moon jumping out, acting half-back and putting it up high in the air and chasing it, that's off script. But you can get away with that, you can cover it up and turn it into a better play by showing lots of urgency. That's exactly what Joel Moon did.
Well, Joel Moon getting Leeds off the mark. He won his first major honour in the game in that Challenge Cup final win against the Castleford Tigers last year with Leeds. And obviously has got a taste for it now. Sinfield, another one who would love to bow out with more silverware. Perhaps a double. Kinehorst, the German international, playing in the second row for the Rhinos and doing a good job of it. Peacock now. Sinfield drills that ball downfield. That's a strong kick and cannons into the advertising hoardings at the Hull end of the field.
He's happy, Bill. He knows how to play the conditions, Kevin Sinfield. How many times have we seen it come October in the grand finals when the weather is exactly the same as this, and he always brings his boots? Fabulous player, Kevin Sinfield. And do you know, they've lost Danny Maguire, they've lost Liam Sutcliffe, so Kevin Sinfield's going to be in the side. Not a bad deputy. Captained Leeds Rhinos in 6 Challenge Cup finals, 44 test caps, 2012 Golden Boot. Phenomenal player.
And he's got over 50 cup ties to his name as well in his career. But Hull need to respond. Here's Gareth Ellis, another seasoned campaigner as well, this time in the colours of Hull. Jordan Abdull hoists that kick as well. Ash Hanley comes for it, but he's missed it, and it's Hardacre who comes to the rescue.
I'm telling you, Bill, we're watching Jordan Abdull warming up. a long time before everybody else came out, and he was practicing that, putting it high, hanging, and Ash Hanley, very competent. 99 times out of 100 he'd catch that, but it was twisting, turning. Jordan Abdul, I'm sure he's seen something he likes, and he'll keep going back to that.
Very talented player, Jordan Abdul, and he's gathered that ball as well. Ryan Hall lost possession.
He's big, he's powerful. He's a natural football player, isn't he?
Peacock and Aiton. Look at that Leeds Rhinos defence. This was the mistake.
There was a penalty here now. When you go into contact, you've got to make sure you hold on to the ball. Leeds made the mistake. And now Hull FC get a penalty. Minicello trying to get up and play the ball. A couple of Leeds players over the back of him.
The rain tumbling down as Hull, first real opportunity to pressure this Leeds Rhinos defence. They go down the short side with Minicello, bang! Big defence. Ellis, Watts just shrugs aside the first challenge. Paul Aiton comes flying
Well,
in.
he's took two big shots there, and he's roared him. He's a big, powerful lad, isn't he?
Houghton, the black and white supporters cheering their side on. Little grubber kick for Lynham to chase, and Hardacre opts for safety.
Well, it looked a strange decision to kick the ball at first, but any kick is only as good as its chase. Leon Price puts it into a spot where it had Ryan Hall and Zach Hardacre worried. And we know about Tom Lynham.
Richard Horne alongside Lee Radford up there, peering through the rain here, as is Leon Price, who put that kick in.
Perfect conditions for summer rugby.
Long kick, reaches into Hull territory. And Mickey Payer thunders back with it for Hull.
He really took the game towards Leeds last weekend. We're talking to one of the fans of Hull FC who said that's the best game Mickey Payer had played in a black and white shirt. We'll be wanting to replicate that this week.
Ellis saw the ball ricochets and Leeds pick it up. Free play. Joel Moon weaving, wandering run.
Well, it's not the conditions to be playing at the line. You see the little tug on the arm of Talanoa from Rob Burrow. And there's a mistake from Leeds, is it? No, it's gone backwards.
Backwards, says referee Child, and Ash Hanley picked up the pieces for Leeds. Hardacre. Ablett now.
Well, there's some big shots going in. Both sets of players flinging themselves at their opposition.
Here's Peacock. Goes back for more, Jamie Peacock, the story of his career. Up to the 20-metre line. Strong run. Hardacre now. Hardacre puts a little kick in, and well dealt with by Rankin. Very well dealt with by Jordan Rankin, keeping Jamie Shaw out of this Hull FC side tonight.
Virtually the same kick that Leon Price came in. A different result though, but a chance for Leeds to defensively put some pressure on. Ash Hanley misses the tackle. Jordan Rankin gets out of his in goal.
There's a mistake here from Hull FC. Well, bringing the ball away last week when they played against the Rhinos at Headingley, they only completed at 64%. Leeds Rhinos completing with the set to 6, getting to the kick, and here's the mistake.
And that's often the tactic in wet weather. Kick the ball long, put your opposition on their line, and make them work hard to get away from it. Kirk Yeaman, he missed the game last weekend along with Joe Westerman.
Well, Danny Houghton couldn't pick that ball up cleanly.
It's head and feed to the Leeds Rhinos, and they get a great opportunity here, and Watkins has lost that ball.
Well, everybody's got the dropsies at the minute, haven't they? Ryan Hall normally safe as houses. Kirk Yeaman safe as houses. Danny Houghton safe as houses. It's like a bar of soap at the minute.
Well, it's not surprising. I think there's more on the way in terms of rain, but it's just spiced things up even more, really. Here's Minicello. He really has been outstanding on his debut season for Hull FC.
Yeah, he's been fabulous. The former Gold Coast forward.
Leon Price, short ball from
Good
Price,
line.
finds Ellis, but just a crucial cling by Joel Moon there to stop his progress. Now quick hands, and here's Lynham. Lynham bumps off the first, comes back in field, off to Warrington next season, Tom Lynham. And then that ball goes to ground, and Minicello just slipped out of his grasp.
Well, both sets of teams prepared to throw the game around, and Tez, you made a point before about not passing the ball at the line. You can't just, to use a phrase that our friend used, stick it up your jumper. You've got to challenge your defenders, and if you pass it towards the line, near the line, that's when you put pressure on the receiver.
Leeds dominating possession so far in this one. Zach Hardacre. Only try of the game, scored by Joel Moon. Goal by Kevin Sinfield as Sinfield puts a kick in. Hoare will chase it. Rankin comes across and goes down safely just in the field of play to gather that one.
Well, isn't that just game management from Kevin Sinfield, kicking on the third play. Kicks it to the corner, a big chase from Leeds Rhinos. Now Hull FC trapped where they don't want to be.
Well, Brad Singleton, he's on the pitch, want to make a big impact as we remember the game when Leeds were here in the league.
That's good hands from Hull, that's great hands from Hull. Almost clear down the left-hand side.
As we remember the game when Leeds came here in the league, it was one of Brad Singleton's big charges that got the Rhinos on the front foot. I'm sure he'll look to do the same in this one.
On the last, Abdul, little chip kick over the top. Good kick that is, right into the corner. Hardacre comes across, gathers, and Yeaman gathers him in as well.
Well, just enough weight. Leeds Rhinos are getting numbers in whenever they're defending. They're getting 3s and 4s in, making it slow play the ball. Hull FC need to do exactly the same.
15 minutes gone. Leeds ahead by 6 points to 0. The rain easing off. But it's made conditions a bit slippery out there.
Oh, good footwork from Stevie Ward then. Kirk Yeaman had lined him up. Stevie Ward and Jimmy Carnos for Leeds were the best performers last weekend. Up in a stiff competition with Minicello and Ellis through wily campaigners.
Lynham dragged backwards. Leeds don't look in the mood to relinquish their grip on this Challenge Cup tonight. It is going to take a big performance from Hull to deny the Rhinos progress. That seems like a statement of intention from Leeds. Swarming defence from them. Good run from Talanoa. Hull fans baying for a penalty from referee Child. Houghton. Westerman has lost it.
Well, thinking about the psychology of both teams, we've just had over 15 minutes now. Leeds during the week, Danny Maguire, Liam Sutcliffe, as we see the mistake from Joe Westerman, under pressure from Callum Watkins. And that's part of the point that I'm making. Leeds will have said to one another, we need to be enthusiastic. We need to tell Hull FC that even though we've had a couple of injuries, it's not going to affect our mentality and psychology. And Hull FC, they lost Seta Martassar, but they've had a steady week. They were preparing like Danny Maguire was going to play.
Brian McDermott down on the sidelines for this one. Lee Radford in his normal position up in the stand. The Leeds coach, well, he couldn't get much closer to the action without actually being out on the field, and he sees his side awarded a penalty, offside.
And this is what they can't do, double up their errors. A couple of players in the Hull FC jersey just offside, not giving Leeds Rhinos the 10. So they make a mistake, then it's a penalty, and now they're going for 2 points, Kevin Sinfield.
And I think that's an indication of the pace of this game. It's been brutal at times, but it's been very fast. I know we've had 1 or 2 knock-ons. Chris Plume and Brian McDermott adding some observations from the sideline. Lee Radford will be doing the same. Good contest so far.
Gareth Ellis just questioning that. And then Jamie Peacock, that's who he's actually exchanging smiles with. Could Peacock responded to that? Two very, very experienced players. Gareth Ellis is 34, Jamie Peacock 37. Well, they've been around, they know all about it. And Sinfield lines up this penalty.
There's a lot of experience on the pitch, Bill. We're looking at the front rows. You just see Kevin line up, or maybe point after the conversion, Bill.
Rain coming heavy again. Sinfield. From distance, Kevin Sinfield. He's captain Leeds in 6 finals. And looking to round off his rugby league career with another Challenge Cup final appearance, and those 2 points edging Leeds 8-0 ahead.
Well, going back to that word, that experience word, the front row for Leeds Rhinos has a combined age of 104 years. The front row from Hull FC 79.
Home Kingston Rovers against Salford is on Sky Sports next week. It's a busy week next week. That's the first of the games next Tuesday, 8 o'clock on Sky Sports Extra. And then Wakefield against Hull FC available on Wednesday, 8 o'clock. Just go to skysports.com/extra and log in using your Sky ID and password, or you can also watch both matches via the Sky Sports for iPad app. Simply log in and navigate to our dedicated Rugby League section for those 2 games next week. This is Ladbrokes Challenge Cup action. Leeds ahead by 8 points to 0, coming up to the end of the first quarter. And Hardacre thumps that ball downfield.
Well, in the first 20 minutes, I think it's all been about Leeds Rhinos. I think they've stuck to the task. They've come up with all the answers when everything that Hull FC's pushing at them. Look, the defence, they're getting off the line, getting numbers in. It's really slow from Hull FC at the minute.
Well, again, the noise from the Hull supporters is aimed at the referee as Leeds seem to get a jump.
Well, they're just getting off the line really quick. They're getting off the line. They know that's where the game can be won. Could have been a penalty there, though, for Hull FC.
Price plays the ball. And then Abdul thumps that kick skywards. Claimed by Steve Michaels, but he loses possession, and Stevie Ward comes up with it.
And that needed to be a better kick into the corner to young Ash Hanley. Unfortunately, didn't quite have the legs.
Well, what he's trying to do is trying to get as much power and as much height on it. And when you do that, sometimes you sacrifice a little bit of accuracy, but a good tussle, a good battle. I'm enjoying this.
Good
Great
defence.
shots.
Good defence. Ellis putting shoulder, heart, spirit into it. Whoa, have they turned it up a notch?
That Liam Watts who comes out of the line. This is the good shot from Ellis.
That's underneath the ball. Good leg drive.
Hull sensing they need to shake Leeds out of the control they've got at the moment, because it does look as though the Rhinos have got an edge in this game. Stevie Ward, another tricky kick. It's come up for Jordan Rankin.
I agree, Bill. They're getting to that time now where they know that they've been behind, they've been challenged. They need to come up with some big shots to just knock Leeds Rhinos backwards, because they're landing on the front. They've been dominant in the go forward early on in this game.
But they haven't really managed to trouble the Leeds Rhinos defence. Can they now with Rankin?
And Bill, going back to last weekend, it was like this for an hour. Both teams going hell for leather at each other.
Just inside the Leeds 40, and Jordan Abdul hoists that kick. Hanley comes for it, claims it. Just 19 years of age of Ash Hanley. We go back to remember that game against Castleford when he dropped that ball late on in the game, and that will have been a tester of character for him.
It will be, and then you can look at the game that he played against Saints and he scored a hat-trick. So he's got some skill. There's another mistake.
Hardacre. Hull could have capitalised on that a bit better, couldn't they?
Yeah, I think both sets of players unclear whether it was a penalty, a knock-on. They were waiting for a call from the referee, and he just said, play on.
Yeah, there's no problem with that. Minicello comes over the top, trying to take Zach Hardaker to ground. The ball comes free.
Zach Hardaker's claiming there was a hand in there. That's why everybody stopped and looked at the referee, waited for him.
To be fair, a difficult game for the players in these conditions, probably difficult for the referee as well, because it's slippery.
It is, Bill, but that's when you as a ball carrier have got to make sure you have full control over that ball, because you know that when you do go into a tackle and you're not put to ground, there's going to be players coming in looking for that big shot, looking to dislodge the ball.
Here is Liam Watts and gets the ball out of the grip and gets the pass away. Oh, Minicello. We've put the mockers on him tonight, haven't we? We've been saying outstanding this season. He's not covered himself with glory so far.
Yeah, I think we can reference last night with Zeb Taylor. He went into the game obviously injured, and Minicello. Rugby players will put the hand up and say, yeah, I'm fit, give me a go, coach. Wonderful play from Liam Watts. We've talked about him for the last couple of weeks now. Myself and Tez, we think he's really maturing, finding his game, finding his rhythm. An offload over the top, and that's a good battle between him and Brad Singleton.
Watts making the tackle, or helping to make the tackle.
Ryan Hall, who's got the ball for Leeds, he's like an extra forward, and he's 17.5 stone, probably one of the quickest on the pitch as well.
It's Carl Ablett.
Move back up, come on, Hall. Wait.
Ablett plays the ball. Sinfield chips that one ahead. Callum Watkins will chase. Rankin, time for him to come across. Little good shuffle from him.
Lovely footwork from Rankin. He beat Callum Watkins. That's no easy task in itself.
Leeds quickly off the mark again, to the fury of the Hull supporters.
Well, they're begging for a penalty at the minute, aren't they, the Hull FC fans? They know that bringing the ball away, that's not going to beat Leeds Rhinos. They need to be up the other end of the park.
Here's Leon Price, on a par with Kevin Sinfield in terms of Challenge Cup experience. And then the kick drilled to Hanley, and he had his eyes on the ball. He absolutely focused on that as it reached his toes.
I'm just trying to think back to when Jordan Abdul was at the scholarship at Leeds. I'm 90% sure he played in the same team as Ash Hanley, that was coached by Rob Burrow and Carl Ablett.
Here's Zach Hardaker. Westerman making the tackle. There is Rob Burrow. Now Jamie Peacock. Looking for a 7th Cup final appearance as Paul Ayton goes on a run. Finds Sinfield. Sinfield stopped in his tracks by Kurt Yeaman. And then Hardaker puts a kick in, and that'll find touch.
They just know exactly what to do, the Rhinos, don't they? A nice little pass from Callum Watkins. Zach Hardaker coming from one side of the pitch to the other, drops it onto his toe, knocks it out of the field of the play, and Brian McDermott will be happy. He'll be looking down the right end of the park, and he'll be saying, yeah, we've got them where they want them. They're just 10 yards from the line, just 20 metres in. They're ruthless, the Rhinos, aren't they?
Well, Hull know they've got their work cut out to get past them in this quarter-final. It's their 7th Cup meeting since the turn of the century, the 4th at the quarter-final stage, and Hull's only win in that time came in that 2005 final at Cardiff when they beat the Rhinos. It's going to take a massive effort. That is obvious with Leeds in this mood tonight. Missing key players, Maguire among them, Cuthbertson, another big absentee. Maybe look to the bench and think that Hull might have an edge there.
You're right, Bill. Looking up front, especially the way the conditions are as well, you think it would be a forwards game. This is the penalty that the fans have been waiting for. You can hear the cheers go out. You think they'd scored a try. Hull FC, Leeds Rhinos not getting back the 10. James Charles just letting play go on.
And the pace of the game has been frenetic, but just keep an eye on Carl Ablett. It looks like he's struggling a little bit. To me, he's already went into the game with a with a bandage on a cut from last weekend.
Jordan Thompson coming off the bench for Hull. Their bench, Paliasina, Thompson, Whiting and Josh Bowden. The Rhinos bench, Delaney, Singleton, Yates and Robbie Ward. But here come Hull. And it is Josh Bowden playing the ball. Their best opportunity. Oh, and it goes to ground. Westerman losing control of it. Lee Radford, well, does this mean he's coming down to the sidelines? He needs to get closer to the action.
Yeah, it just wasn't on that pass from Westerman. He comes up with some good footwork, goes back against the grain, tries to slip the ball away to Danny Houghton. Jamie Peacock was there anyway. He goes for the subtle pass, the backdoor ball, but Danny Houghton was pulling out of that. He wasn't expecting it, and whether or not he could have got a clean take on it.
So Hull kicking themselves, because that was I think that's the closest they've come to the Leeds try line, isn't it, so far? 29 minutes gone.
Yeah, and they can score tries, and Westerman is one of those natural players. It's a penalty for the Leeds Rhinos yet again, Bill. They've made a mistake. They're backing it up with a penalty. It's just relieving that pressure and field position.
It was a good hard line from Brad Singleton, who run right back into the block hole. There's three players that have to account for him, and Gareth Ellis can't get out of the way, and in his attempt to do it, dislodges the ball
Cunningly, but spotted by the referee. Here come Leeds as Brett Delaney plays the ball. And Sinfield brings them across to the other side of the field, and then Watkins, and this is the danger man, one of the danger man. That ball batted down, and Hull have it back. Danny Houghton seemed to get in the way of that pass.
The referee saying that that's okay. I thought that ball went forward from Danny Houghton.
Certainly looked it.
Well, he sticks his arm up because he knows that Callum Watkins, the beaten Zach Hardacre, catches that ball. It's a try.
That's a break for Hull by the look of things.
Yeah, well, there he's made a play. It's definitely gone forward.
That's a big let-off. Leeds were in then.
And it's a let-off that Hull FC need as well, Bill.
Leon Price, Rankin gets the ball to Talanoa.
And it's a good job Talanoa couldn't find his winger then, because Ryan Hall had come in, Rob Burrow were in a little bit of trouble.
And a kick from Rankin.
Rankin showed up well in this first half an hour. Been involved a couple of times, returning, getting his side away from trouble, and he'll have to step up. Jordan Abdul, as we've said, 19 years of age, not afraid, and I don't think for 1 minute he's intimidated by this arena and this platform. He'll just look at it and think he's more people to watch him shine, but he'll need a bit of help. He'll need the senior players around him, share that workload around. Price and Rankin need to take a bit of pressure off the young man.
Well, he's great talent. Some people see him as a loose forward, maybe further down the track.
Well, I was amazed the size of him, but kicking the ball, and as I said before the game, he looks like he's got so much time. Doesn't put himself under pressure, the young man.
Stevie Ward now, an 18-year-old finalist against the Warrington Wolves in 2012 was Stevie Ward. Come a long way since then. Now a mainstay of this Leeds side at 21 years of age. Another mainstay. Other end of the scale, Kylie Luluai playing the ball. Here's Carl Ablett.
He looks to have recovered. He had a period there where he was just trying to find his marbles. Good kick from Sinfield.
It is a dangerous kick, that. And Price, well, he could do nothing else.
Isn't that what you get from Kevin Sinfield? He's been a fabulous leader, and he continues to be that fabulous leader for the Rhinos. He knows exactly what he needs to do. Puts a brilliant kick in, comes up with a good bounce. Zach Hardacre chasing up really hard, and it's all about building pressure, and that man certainly can do that. He's got the time, he's got the experience.
Leon Price taking a knock as he came down then.
He catches the ball cleanly here, under pressure from Zach Hardacre. Can't see anything where he gets a bang. It's a good take under pressure.
Okay, Jordan, yeah. Stay on.
He's back on his feet, and goal line dropout. Rain coming down heavily again at the KC Stadium. Just over half an hour gone. Leeds ahead by 8 points to 0. Delaney plays the ball. Here's Paul Ayton. Kylie Lulawai. Another 37-year-old. The 30-somethings well represented out there on the field tonight.
Release. We are Josh. Wait.
Watkins plays the ball. Paul Ayton. Ablett. Burrow now, and Burrow checks and then scampers across the field. Joel Moon, scorer of the only try so far in this Challenge Cup quarter-final. Ryan Hall. Good defence from Hull that time, and Jimmy Kinehorst quickly bottled up. Ayton on the last now with Burrow, and Burrow, cross-field kick. Claimed, well claimed by Steve Michaels.
Yeah, I think it's Kirk Yeaman who obstructs Ash Hanley when he's trying to catch the ball. Referee's seen it. There you go, obstruction. A high-hanging kick. Rob Burrow puts it into the slot. He wants Ash Hanley, and there you go, Kirk Yeaman right across the path. Another set of 6 for Leeds. Will they go for 2, Tez?
I think I'd go for 2 here.
Well spotted from our gantry position.
Kirk Yeaman. Just a marginal call that was.
You know, sorry, Bill, he gives it away because he's looking at where Ash Hanley's running. He's looking at the path. They call them escorts and they practice those in training. You want to give your outside back, you want to give your wingman chance to catch that ball cleanly, and because he's looking at Ash Hanley, that's why the referee gives that penalty away.
You mean if he'd been looking the other way,
no,
if he'd looked at his own man?
What he's trying to say, if you're running at the side of the bloke that's catching the ball and you're going in the same direction, that's an escort. That was a dead set block.
Well, very effective block. And Kevin Sinfield, well, he's given himself quite a task here, landing this one. It's a couple of metres in from the touchline, and he's pushed it right across the face of the posts, and Rankin will counter for Hull. Rankin has got Lynham in support, and Tom Lynham was screaming for that ball.
Well, he's got so much speed, hasn't he, Rankin? I think he made the right decision then, not to pass the ball.
Yeah, he didn't have much room to work with, Tom Lynham.
Could he have come back infield? Well, it's history. Rankin got his side out of trouble anyway, because one moment they looked to be conceding 2 more points to a Kevin Sinfield penalty, and now they could counter here. Ellis was looking over his shoulder. Now he looks at the referee and says, well, why wasn't that a penalty? Josh Bowden. Good carry.
That's a big run, that.
He's missed the last 8 games, Josh Bowden. He's got some ground to make up. Now then, Price kicks out wide, maybe doesn't get as much forward with that, and Lynham hacks it ahead, but he's sent it forwards and just couldn't get the ball back towards his own players, Tom Lynham.
He just doesn't get the distance on the kick, Leon Price. He wants to kick it near towards the try line so Lynham can run onto the ball, and then you've got the Leeds players retreating, trying to catch it above the head.
Kylie Lulawai. Here is Brett Delaney. Sinfield could hear the thump on the ball as he wellied that one downfield, and Rankin, he's done a lot of chasing, Jordan Rankin.
He has, but again, Kevin Sinfield kicking on the 3rd play. Let's get out of trouble, boys. We've got to defend. We'd rather have the ball near, or we'd rather be defending up near Hull's line than near our own with the ball.
Steve Michaels plays the ball. Jordan Thompson now. Now Leon Price. Talanoa. Petuli Talanoa, magic weekend hero for the Black and Whites with that hat-trick against Rovers. That's a play the ball that goes past Danny Houghton. And then Jordan Abdul hoists the kick, but not a great set of six that from Hull.
Well, it was their outside backs that were getting in, trying to generate some speed, trying to catch out the forwards from the Leeds Rhinos. Let's see what Leeds Rhinos do on this set of six. Will they kick early? Will they get some distance?
Move. Wait.
Ash Hanley making his 16th consecutive appearance. Watkins.
Hold.
Quiet so far tonight, which is ominous for Hull. Stevie Ward looks like a cotton wool stuffed up his nostril. Ablett now.
Well, Leeds are just playing the conditions, keeping it tight. They've got through to the back end of the set with this. Its ball's going to go up from Kevin Sinfield.
A chip kick over the top. Michaels goes back and the ball, anxiously he was waiting for that one. And Sinfield among those following up the kick.
Well, if you're a Hull FC player now, you'll be getting fed up with bringing the ball away from your try line. But you've just got to believe in the process that the coach has sent you out there, Lee Radford. You know that it's going to be tough. You know that it's going to be physical. When you're carrying the ball, you know you're going to get belted. And there's a mistake here.
It's Joe Westerman, and Westerman protesting,
Well,
suggesting that the referee had been hoodwinked there.
Sorry, Bill, a couple of mistakes here from Joe Westerman in the first half. Does Carl Ablett just has a little push on the ball, does he? Going into contact, they've got two players. You can see that there's a hand there. He needs to have better control. You're always going to have hands in a tackle. You're always going to have someone trying to clamp the ball.
A couple of minutes to go before the half-time hooter sounds, and Hardacre has lost that ball, and that was a ball steal, says the referee.
So even when the ball,
the difference.
Yeah, even when the ball comes free here, was the tackle complete, and then does the ball spill out? Here you can see. Well, there is a right hand in there from Kurt Yeaman. He's protesting to the referee, but he gets his hand underneath the ball, has a little poke at it.
Well, it's just as incumbent on the Leeds player to keep a hold of that as it was on the Hull player a moment ago, and referee Childs just having a word with Kurt Yeaman.
Yeah, well, they can't worry about Gareth Ellis telling him to calm down here. Well, Bill, this is the perfect time. You've got to stay focused. A couple of calls are going against you. Kevin Sinfield going to line up a further 2 points here. So a couple of calls have gone against you. You can't lose the marbles. Kurt Yeaman, he is an absolute fabulous player in the Super League Dream Team in 2006 and 2010. They need him playing in top form to beat the Rhinos.
Do you think it was? Do you think he did make a push at that ball?
He made a play for that. His right arm definitely pushed the ball out. Do you know what you could throw in there as well, Bill? Was the tackle complete? Was he grounded? Or was that play on?
As it is, Kevin Sinfield is back where he started just a few moments ago. He missed with his previous penalty attempts, but he doesn't often miss twice in a row, and Kevin Sinfield hasn't missed on this occasion. 2 more points for Brian McDermott's side to take a 10-0 lead into half-time here, and the coach right down close to the action. It's been tight. It's been very cagey from these two sides, and Lee Radford's team by no means out of this contest, but they haven't really managed to string together a good possession, a good passage of possession.
You're right, Bill. I think it's the mistakes, I think it's the penalties that they've given away that's really helped Leeds Rhinos in this first half. If they can control them, clean things up a bit, well, they'll be well and truly in this game.
Kylie Luluai, closing seconds of the first 40 minutes of this Ladbrokes Challenge Cup quarter-final. Leeds and Hull FC looking to win their place in the last 4. Hull Kingston Rovers already there by virtue of their, in the end, slightly anxious win over Catalan last night. Was that the hooter or a bugle? I think it was the hooter. It was half-time. And Brian McDermott strides off the field. Joel Moon has scored the only try of this first half. Kevin Sinfield has contributed more points in the shape of that conversion and then 2 more penalties. But Hull, trailing by 10 points to 0, they have still every prospect of turning this one round.
That was last night.